Jason should have been watched every minute. He wasn't a very good swimmer. We can go now, dear.
Jason Voorhees is one of the most recognizable horror movie villains of all time. If horror had a shonen jump style big three, he'd easily be up there right next to Freddy, wait, I already did this bit in the last video. Final Girls, mini sequels, Big Bad Killer?
It's the same thing!
Friday the 13th is best known for its main antagonist, but our favorite machete-wielding, hockey mask-wearing zombie doesn't start terrorizing camp counselors until the second movie. Today I'll be taking a look at Jason while he's still human, so from his debut in part 2 to his eventual death in part 4. He was preceded in the original by his mom, Pamela Voorhees, who believed her son had drowned after 2 neglectful counselors left him to go bump uglies. But I don't know, man, I'd probably let Lil Bro drown too for Mrs. Freeze Frame over here. Jason sets the tone by spinning for his mom and immediately killing the first movie's final girl, Alice, which sucks because she was pretty cool. He goes on to follow in his mother's footsteps and kill any camper he comes across, sporting his iconic look in the third movie, and finally getting taken out by our main man Tommy Jarvis in part 4. The Friday franchise would go on to have 11 films in the main series, then a reboot in 2009. Unfortunately, Jason had been stuck in legal limbo between the original movie's director/producer, Sean Cunningham, and its screenwriter, Victor Miller. Kind of like 2 divorced parents fighting over custody of their kid. Miller did end up recently winning the case, but it's a whole complicated mess, so there hasn't been any progress towards a new movie. So for now, we gotta rock out with what we got. Today I'll be answering, how powerful is Jason Voorhees?
Make mommy proud, Jason. Don't let them escape.
Unlike another mass killer, we actually see Jason run on multiple occasions. He's so slow as shit though, since a brisk jog is the fastest we see him run. His best movement speed that we see is him outpacing this old cop, which isn't exactly a Usain Bolt level feat. He's been easily outran by people who see him coming. Like, dude, she's right there, go get her! Because of his lackluster speed, he relies on sneaking up on people. Most kills are on completely unsuspecting victims who were killed before they even knew they were in danger. Even if they are aware that something's wrong, he still finds a way to ambush them or cut them off. Many people believe Jason's capable of teleporting, but once again, I'm not convinced. We get a few scenes of him running around and chasing people instead of just teleporting right in front of them. Granted, he does appear in some random places, but it's easily explained away by assuming he's just at the right place at the right time. Like, was he just chilling in the water here? There was no way he would have known that she was coming out here, right? He has pretty standard reaction speed. He sidesteps a machete swing here, and dodges some admittedly poor knife swings from Chris. He also stuntmans out of the way of an incoming van. He does get tagged a few times though, usually from sneak attacks that he didn't get a chance to react to. It was while I was looking out for feats to add to his strength and durability sections that I realized human Jason and undead Jason might as well be 2 entirely different characters. In comparison to the later films, Jason's strength is extremely lackluster to say the least. When you think of Jason, you probably think of something like this. But here's what we got. He starts off pretty clumsy, being unable to reliably kill people who are ready for him. He misses Paul with a spear, then falls to the floor after the chair he's standing on breaks. People always make fun of the person getting chased slips and falls trope, but we get multiple instances of Jason tripping and falling himself. He tussles with Paul twice, barely getting the upper hand both times. To be fair though, bro's even taller than Jason's 6'1" actor, so I'm sure he's no slouch. Chris is able to break his grasp by rolling up a window, and in the climax of part 3, he's suddenly deemed unworthy to wield his machete by Tom Savini, struggling to unlodge it from the barn door. It's not all bad though. He's able to do average stuff like kebab couples with spears, hammer a dude in the back of the head, and slice people up with his machete. You know, average stuff. But he does have some impressive feats. He regularly shows he's capable of holding people up, like when he throws his chick out a window, and when he props Andy up on the ceiling after nearly chopping him in half vertically from the crotch down. That's not even his worst crotch offense. In part 4, he lifts a man up with a single arm using a harpoon gun, then fires it. Yeah, I'd easily take the Death Slinger's Mori over that any day. He chops his biker dude's hand clean off with a single swing, twisted a man's head around a whole 180 degrees, and has crushed skulls 2 separate times. once by chest pressing a guy's head in so hard his eye popped out in a pretty silly effect, and the other by smashing through shower glass and pushing a dude's head until it cracked. Neither absolutely obliterated their skulls, since we see them intact later on, but the force would still have to exceed over 2,000 newtons. His most impressive feat of strength surprisingly doesn't come from a kill. While he's chasing after Trish and Tommy in part 4, he completely bursts through a wooden door. Assuming this is your standard door, around 6'8" by 3 feet, around 2 inches wide, it would take over 5,500 newtons of force to destroy the door the way Jason did. He also has a slight affinity for projectile weapons, like a decent knife and hammer throw. But more impressive is his axe throw that goes straight through a door and into a girl's chest. And of course the 3D harpoon headshot from a good distance away. Much like his strength, Jason's best durability feats do not come from parts 1 through 4. As I previously stated, Jason's earliest kills are sneak attacks. He kills most of his victims before they even have a chance to fight back. Good thing our final girls always put up a good fight in the end, giving him a chance to show off his solid durability. Yeah, no, Jason gets dropped pretty easily early in his career. He fell to his knees after a couple books fell on top of him. He was stabbed in the leg, which seemed to affect him since he limped after Chris for the remainder of the movie. He nearly gets his hand chopped in half by Trish, and she also stabs him with the claw side of the hammer after weak hammer swings weren't doing any damage. He's knocked out with a TV to the head, and of course, he's not immune to the all-powerful nut shot. But his worst feat has to be when he gets knocked out cold with a shovel to the head. Like, I don't know, I feel like I could walk that off. It's not all bad though, he is capable of surviving attacks that would kill your average person. In part 2's climax, he takes a really deep machete to the shoulder that seemingly kills him, but it just knocks him out for long enough for Paul and Ginny to get away. While he's knocked out from Chris's Babe Ruth of a swing, she puts a noose on his neck then tosses him off the barn. He wakes up while hanging, A-OK, and simply pulls himself off the noose. Chris then grabs an axe and swings it at his head. Jason marches towards her a bit before passing out. This once again supposedly kills him until he wakes up at the morgue in the next movie. Funny enough, his best durability feat is the same as his best strength feat. Since he uses his whole body to destroy the wooden door, he would have felt an equal and opposite reaction, meaning he was also hit with 5,500 newtons of force. Unfortunately for him, Jason's also pretty stupid.
I mean, I doubt Jason would have even known the meaning of death.
He was tricked into a false sense of security 2 times. First by Ginny when she was cornered in Pamela's shrine room, where she puts on Pamela's dusty old sweater and pretends she's Jason's mom.
Kneel down.
That's my good boy.
He only snaps out of his trance when he sees his mom's severed head in the background. And the second time by Tommy, when he shaved his head and tricked Jason into thinking he was his younger self, buying them enough time to stick him with his own machete, practically killing him. We do see his fingers twitch a little, but Tommy immediately puts an end to that and chops him up, finally killing Jason. Jason Voorhees was thought to be a scary legend campers told each other at night, but upon seeing his mother die, he took it upon himself to kill anyone and everyone he came across, killing many before being killed himself, even inspiring a copycat killer to take his place. But at least the real Jason was finally dead, never to return. Once again, thank you so much for sticking around to the very end of the video. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, it really helps me out. And a huge thank you to Corey the C on Twitter for making my thumbnail. Go check him out down in the description. And check out my Twitch too if you wanna. That's _. And check out my last video where I talk about Michael Myers' best feats. And next week I'll be ranking each of the Ghostface killers, so turn on notifications if you want to know when that's out.